Number 4, Brandy of the Damned by Steady Hands. Now, you've probably not heard of Steady Hands, unless you have, in which case, that's super awesome. Steady Hands is the side project of Sean the drummer from Modern Baseball. Yes, his name is Sean the drummer. I don't know what his last name is, and I'm really lazy. His name is Sean. If you've heard Modern Baseball's first album, Brendan, or maybe it's the other one. Oh no, I've forgotten his name, haven't I? If you've heard their first album, there's a song in which the lyrics are, "So I'll leave the steady hands to Sean, because we all know I lack." And I'm not sure if it's because of that line that Sean's band is called Steady Hands, or Sean's band is called Steady Hands, and that's why that line is in that song in the first place. But I'm not sure when Steady Hands came about, the band. So the timeline on that is unclear to me, but that does not matter. Brandy of the Damned is a fantastic little EP, I want to say. Not very Modern Baseball, but that's fine because it's not Modern Baseball, it's Steady Hands. I was expecting what it sounded like because I had heard Your Graduation by Modern Baseball, in which Sean has a very brief few lines, but it was fantastic and it really piqued my interest in Steady Hands, and I do not regret it because they are fantastic. They sound like a good Irish or Boston band, rousing bar rock, and I usually would not promote things being bar rock. Like Titus Andronicus's third album was not great because it was just bar rock, but it's more than that. It's actually more than that. I am seriously understating it, and I am just really bad at describing it. So really, if you want to know, I guess you ought to check it out, huh? Because I'm just not that great at, describing them. It's very difficult to describe music nowadays, unless it's like country or pop, because they can be classified fairly easily, which is why they're more mainstream, because it's more easily, I suppose, accessible to the masses. Here I go pontificating on mainstream music. So yeah, Brandy of the Damned by Steady Hands comes in at number 4. Definitely give that. Oh, I forgot to. I completely and fully recommend every track on this album. But if you need me to pick one, Fragile Heart or We Will Rise. Fragile Heart is actually a single. There's actually a single of Fragile Heart. Crazy good song. Fantastic, which they all are, as I've said. And also, We Will Rise, it's just great. It's great. Just give it a listen. Just listen to it. Anyway, that. Next, number 3. Christmas Island by Andrew Jackson Jihad. Now, Andrew Jackson Jihad is very famous for being rude. They're the rudest people, and they're fantastic, and I love them because they're so cynical and just not nasty so much as not even angry. They're completely goofy, but in a very edgy way, and that's, I think, the appeal to, I'm pretty sure that's the appeal to everyone of Andrew Jackson Jihad. Obviously, musicality, they're very talented. Otherwise, no one would listen to them even if they were funny and edgy. But they're funny and they're edgy, and it's great. Actually, on Christmas Island, a few tracks are less so and still are fantastic. I mean, on Knife Man, there's Fly My Ass, and that's the singer bearing his soul, and it's still a great track. So they can they can obviously still carry their weight even when they're not being goofy and edgy. How many times can I say goofy and edgy? Goofy and edgy. Anyway, Christmas Island was announced. There was a hubbub amongst myself and my friends and those who knew of Andrew Jackson Jihad, and we got really excited. We listened to every song as they released it. They released basically the entire album ahead of time. When it really came down to it, they released the entire album ahead of time pretty much, and we listened to it avidly, and it was great. It's fantastic. I'm a huge fan of Linda Ronstadt, the song by Andrew Jackson Jihad on the album Christmas Island. The title of the song is Linda Ronstadt. I am also a very huge fan of The Children of God. Those are the two that stick in my head when I think of that album. Right away, those are the two that I recommend. I'm not gonna think about trying to recommend songs and go, maybe I should recommend this one or this one or this one. No. First two that popped into my head, Linda Ronstadt, The Children of God. Obviously, I love Cocopelli Face Tattoo. I love all the other ones. Coffin Dancer. The whole album is great and worth checking out. So there. Here's where it gets serious. I think the last two, actually, I've changed my mind. The last two albums are tied for the best album of 2014. I earlier said that number one was the best. I have changed my mind since then. The two that I'm about to tell you about are tied for the first best album of 2014. Coming in at number two, list-wise, I have Strange Desire by Bleachers. Bleachers is the side project of the guitarist from Fun. But he's been doing other things since before Fun even existed, first of all. He's done Songs With Me Without You. He's done stuff all over the place. And I promise you, Bleachers was not famous because of his involvement in Fun. Bleachers got big because Bleachers is good. This album blew me out of the water. I heard I Want to Get Better on the radio, and I was just like, wow, this is really good. Who is this? I looked it up. It was Bleachers. I listened to their album. It was great. I saw the video on YouTube and saw people complaining that, oh, he's only famous because he was in Fun. This song is only popular because he was in Fun. And I was like, you need to listen better because this song is popular because it's crazy good and catchy as hell. So this album is crazy good and catchy as hell. Roller Coaster is a good song. Wanna Get Better is a good song. Every track is fantastic. Check it out. Bleachers, Strange Desire, number two, tied for first best album of 2014. Energy, Real Lightning. And finally, at number one, You're Gonna Miss It All by Modern Baseball. I was just talking earlier about Modern Baseball. Fantastic band out of Philadelphia. Came up 2-3 years ago, really got big off their first album, Sports. But they had several EPs online before that. My friend got me into them. He was going to shows at their house in Philadelphia while he was going to school in South Jersey. And they only had their EPs out at that time, and I was like, yeah, these guys are really good. And then like a few days later they released Sports. I got it, I listened to it, I cannot stop listening to it to this day. I got Sports, I listened to Sports, everyone liked Sports, everyone loved Sports. They blew up. got signed to Run for Cover Records, one of my favorite indie record labels, and released You're Gonna Miss It All very early in 2014. And I listened to it. I was like, they can't have an album as good as Sports, can they? And they did. It's a fantastic album. Really just short of perfect. It was just so excellent, and I was just so full on pleased with it. It was fantastic. That's why I had it as my favorite album of the year, tied with Bleachers. Strange Desire. I recommend every track on this album once again, especially if I have to pick Your Graduation, Apartment, Two Good Things, Notes, and Find Great. Yeah, sure. We'll go with that order. As long as Your Graduation is first, yeah. I love Sean's lines in that song. Not just the fact that he's singing and his voice is so awesome, because they all have great voices. I love the singing. I love the lyrics. Exactly, that's what I was saying. I love the lyrics. The lines that Sean says are fantastic, and I love them. Just, if you haven't heard it by now, what are you waiting for? I've also got runners up because I am flaky. So I have 6 runners up, bringing it to a total of 20 albums for 2014. I'm not going to recommend a track from these, and I'm not going to go into very much detail. These aren't necessarily any worse than any of the ones that made the list. I just couldn't decide, so I picked 14. Okay, the first honorable mention, Mew, that's M and then O with a line through it. Her album, No Mythologies to Follow, her debut album. This girl just burst onto the scene and astounded everybody. It's fantastic. Second honorable mention is actually Distraction by Bare Hands. A few of their songs got played on the radio, I know, and it's really good. Check it out. Third honorable mention, Force Field by Tokyo Police Club. Did not know they were releasing another album. Was impressed. Very pleased. Fourth honorable mention, Iggy Azalea, the new classic. I love Iggy Azalea. Do not start with me, or feel free to comment if you hate her, whatever. Album is great. Not a fan of Charlie XCX, so Fancy is not on anywhere near my favorite, but it's a great album anyway, despite that. In stride with that, I suppose, and also the surprise element, Beyonce by Beyonce just like drops a random album and floats off to be the queen of the universe because that's what she is. Astounding, fantastic, wonderful, great, amazing, beautiful Beyonce. And finally, 1989 by Taylor Swift, because it really is, it's a good album with hella catchy tunes on it. So those are the honorable mentions. Alright everyone, so that's my top 14 albums of 2014, plus honorable mentions. And if you think I missed an album, or you agree, or you just like any of the artists I've mentioned, let me know in the comments. I'm probably going to include links to all of the albums, or at least all the artists, some form of way of finding the music in the description. And if you're here from Tumblr, I guess also let me know in the comments. Awesome, cool. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Once again, I'm Lucas, also known as New Cynic, and I will see you next time here on the place where I am putting it. Also known as my YouTube channel, New Cynic. YouTube.com/New Cynic. Those weren't letters. Adios.